Hello, I'm Nicole, the artist behind Art by Nicole, and today we're playing with pastels. So let's go. Before we dive in to making a picture with these soft pastels, I always like to swatch new art supplies in my swatch book. So first we'll swatch the pan pastel. Here I've printed out a copy of the pan pastel color chart. These are all the colors that are available. You have your core color, and then you have a tint, which is the core color plus white. And then you have a shade, which is the core color plus black. And then the extra dark, which is the core color and more black. And I just highlighted the ones that I currently have so that I don't accidentally buy doubles. So I'm going to go ahead and move this off to the side. I prepared a swatching chart that lists all of the colors, and then there's a section for tint, core, shade, dark, or extra dark. Now they do have metallics available, which I am interested in. And they also have a set of pearlescents, which I'm not as interested in, so I didn't include those here on the chart. So I keep my pan pastels in this pan pastel palette, so you don't have to take the lids on and off each time. You just lift the palette lid and there you go. So I'll keep these over to the side. Now these are the tools that you use to apply the pan pastels. You can use makeup brushes as well. But I went ahead and got the set of soft tools. That's SOFFT, and I'll have a link for these down below. So let's go ahead and get to swatching. So let's start with this color here. Which is phthalo blue. And I'm just going to pick up a little color. And phthalo blue core. That's really pretty. And then in between swatching, I'm going to take this microfiber cloth and just clean off the color. Okay. Next, I believe this is ultramarine blue. Again, just a little color, just 3 little swipes. And there we go. Nice. And turquoise. Turquoise is one of my favorite colors. That's pretty. Now this paper is actually, it's more of a watercolor paper than it is a pastel paper. With the pastel paper, they'll grip the color a little bit better because it'll either be sanded or have enough texture. All right, I'm going to switch tools for the yellows. I'm going to go with the rounded call it a squoval. And this is Hansa yellow. There we go. That's really pretty. And I don't need to look at this one. This is Diarlied yellow. I know that because I wanted a cooler yellow, which would be the Hansa yellow, and a warmer yellow, which is the Diarlied yellow. Almost looks orange there. And then we'll move over to magenta. Yes, magenta. Oh, still had some Diarlied yellow on there, but let's do that again. Very pretty. Okay. And this is permanent red. Very vibrant. The reason I was interested in pan pastels is because they're literally pure color. And when you apply them with these tools, they kind of feel like paint. Okay. Now, this one is red iron oxide shade. I had meant to purchase red iron oxide, but I accidentally put the shade in my cart instead, but that's okay. Let's see what it looks like. Red iron oxide shade. It's like a nice reddish earthy brown. Really pretty. It'll come in handy for landscapes. And raw umber. Again, another great earthy color. Okay. And I'm going to switch colors because I want to do white. You can't even see it. The nice thing about having different sets of tools is that you can assign color families to them. So like this one, I would do reds and earth colors. And this one I would keep for my blues. And maybe I'll have a different one for yellows and one for black. Okay, so there you have it. These are the current pan pastels that I own, and I have a feeling I may want to expand my collection. Is anyone surprised? I'm not. Okay, now I do have some pastel dust on my finger, and pro tip, when working with pastels, I know because artists say that they're messy, and a lot of artists don't like working with soft pastels, but I like to keep washcloths or baby wipes, whatever you have nearby. And just use them to quickly wipe off my fingers. No mess. So let's set these aside. Next, I want to swatch. I got some pastel pencils, the 60 set of Carbothellos. I'm going to go ahead and swatch these out too. So pretty. Now there's a smudge section. I purchased a color chart off of Etsy so I didn't have to write out all of these colors. And there's an area for swatch and then an area for smudge. Don't really feel like smudging right now, but I will go ahead and fill in the swatch areas. So this is titanium white number 100. And again, can't really see it. And here we have 105 ivory. And 110 gray white. .205 neutral yellow. The thing about Carbothello is that though they do technically have color names on the barrel, I don't know if this is going to be a good example. Let's get a darker color here. On the barrel, they only have the number. And the stars indicate the light fastness rating. Now, light fastness, as long as you're putting your picture behind glass, which is recommended to do when you frame a pastel painting, you don't really need to worry about light fastness all that much. Obviously, you don't want to put it in direct sunlight, but the glass will give it some extra protection. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and continue swatching all these out, and I'll speed it up a little bit so you don't have to sit through this whole thing. So, all right. I'll come back when I've swatched out all the pencils. So there you have it. These are all of the Carbothellos I have. These pencils were really nice to swatch. They felt very smooth and buttery. They didn't feel scratchy at all, like you can sometimes get with chalk pastels. So let's go ahead and I'll show you the other pastel pencils that I have. I have some of the Derwent pastel pencils as well. The vanilla, process yellow, cadmium red, crimson, magenta, dark fuchsia, soft violet, lavender, violet, ultramarine, cyan, kingfisher blue, green oxide, emerald green, yellow ochre, chocolate, burnt carmine, terracotta, and carbon black. And these are also really nice pencils as well. I'm going to go ahead and swatch the Arctic pastels over here. The Arctic pastels do have names and color numbers. They also have the pigment information on the packaging. For right now, I'm not going to write that down. I'm just going to swatch them in this order so I can refer to the chart if I need to. I don't know if you can get them open stock, but if you could, I could just look it up this way to see which one it was that I needed to order. Because eventually these numbers that are debossed on the chalk itself are going to wear off. So let's get to swatching. Oh my gosh, these are so smooth. And there you have it. A lot of these were super buttery, very smooth. They just glide onto the paper. Some of them were a little more scratchy. I wouldn't say difficult to lay the pigment down, but you definitely had to press a little harder. But again, that's just the nature of some of these pigments. It is not a reflection on the quality of the pastels. I think these are excellent quality, and I can't wait to do a picture with them. Some of my favorite colors here are the dark gray green. This one here, which is like a dark teal, and then this other one, which is teal. If you didn't know, teal is my favorite color at the moment. I tend to go through phases, but they're all very pretty. I also like this pinky salmony color. All very beautiful. Okay, let's put these away. So those are the pastels I wanted to swatch for you today. The Carbothellos, which again, they were super smooth and lovely to work with. The Arctic soft pastel, and then the pan pastels. Make sure to put that in there to keep it from smudging. If you think I should do a tour of my swatch book and how I organize it and swatch out my supplies, let me know in the comments down below. And if you're enjoying the video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Okay. Before we move on to doing the artwork, I wanted to show you something. Now, I don't want to swatch out all of these stick pastels because we'll be here forever. But I did want to show off something my husband made me. This is 3D printed pastel storage. He's working on a tray for the Ardex pastels for me to add here that we can add another stack to, but the lid in each layer is magnetic and it has the spaces for the pastels. And it holds the whole sticks or half sticks. There we go. So I can take out whatever tray I want to work with and not have a bunch of pastels laying around the table. I should have him make me an empty one that I can use as like a palette so I could pick out my colors. And then they all go together like that, and each layer is magnetic, and it fits perfectly in my drawer. Pretty neat, huh? Having a husband who likes to do 3D printing and you're an artist and obsessed with organization, we're basically a match made in heaven. All right, let's get on to the play part of the Swatch and Play. Okay, so today I'm going to be doing a pastel painting with the pan pastel and my Carbothellos. Don't know if I'm going to need the Ardex. It's a fairly simple painting. It is of a pink Cosmo, I believe. So I am using Canson Me 10s paper. I got a 12 by 16 pack of the assorted colors, and I'm going to go with the dark blue for today. So first I want to lightly sketch out All right, we've got our sketch. At first I want to work with the background. It's kind of a bokeh effect, I would say. It's just a blurry kind of black background with greens and some pinks. So let's go ahead and just lay in those colors. I'm going to start off with some pink, and that goes about here. And some up here. Now you may have noticed that I don't have any green pan pastel, but I know how to mix colors, so I know that I can make a green by using blue and yellow. And the beautiful thing with the pan pastel is you can mix right in the pan. So I'm going to grab some phthalo blue and some diarite yellow. I'm going to put in some that, and we've got green. With a hint of blue. Let's try ultramarine and Hansa yellow. Add more yellow, get more of a springish green color. And to get into these tiny areas, I'm turning my tool onto the side. These blend so beautifully. Let's see what happens when we use turquoise and diarite yellow. Add some more turquoise. Nice soft green yellow. Beautiful. I think we need another pink splotch in the background over here. Now remember, your reference photo is just that, it's a reference. It is a jumping off point for what you want to create. You don't want to copy it exactly. The reference I'm using today comes from Pixabay, and I will link it down below in case you want to use this reference and give this a try yourself. And I'm not too worried about going over my lines. I can pull out the eraser here in a minute. Just a little more yellow down here. Okay, and just like that, we have our background. Pretty simple. Okay. Let's get out the eraser. And this is just a regular kneaded eraser. See how easy that comes off? Perfect. I'll leave that right there in case I need it again. So let's block in the flower, and I'm going to start with the stem. The stem in the reference is kind of an army olivey green, and then there's a shadow. So let's take some blue and some yellow and a little bit of umber. There we go. Okay, the center is fairly bright, so I'm going to use some of the Hansa yellow, and I'm going to put it on the top. Wipe that off and get some of the diarrhea yellow because it's a little bit more orangey towards the bottom. Okay, wipe off excess color and then just kind of mix. There we go. Nice little fade. All right. The closer to the center of the flower, it's very, very pink. So that's where I'm going to put my darkest pinks. And some of the petals have a curve in them. Oh, you know what? I just noticed I forgot that whole section of green right there, so I'm gonna go ahead and grab some phthalo, some yellow, throw that in real quick. And just blend it out. There. Alright, back to the pink. Make that a little bit pinker there. Okay, now I need some lighter pink values. So what I'm gonna do is pick up white and pink. We're gonna put them down. Make sure you apply your strokes in the same direction the petal is going. Okay. I'm going to take a little bit of the darker pink, kind of blend. Now there's kind of a roll in this petal, so it's a little darker here. It's a little darker on this side. Make the colors blend a little. Okay, and that's our base coat. Very simple, but it helped me lay down a lot of color very quickly. So let's put the pan pastels away. And see, they get dirty, but it's not a big deal. You can just wipe them off when you're done or leave it for your next painting session. Okay, so to get the details, we're going to use the pastel pencils. That's bugging me. That unblended part. Okay. What's this color? Using a 330 to get some of the darkest parts of the flower. for the pencils, instead of using these soft tools, I'm going to be using these blending stumps. Try adding some of this brighter pink number 335 in here. let's add some purple for some depth here in these shadows. Help define some of these lines, or petals rather. Okay. That looks good. Let's get to the second tray of pencils. In the center of the flower, there are some darker bits. Go ahead and use a Payne's Gray, number 770. And some deeper shadow down here. Take some of this light peachy pink and add some definition to these flower tips. work on that stem. We've got 585 here. Then we've got that dark shadow. Again, I'm going to go with Payne's Gray. And let's smooth it out. Still feel like I might need something like a Prussian blue, a number 390 in here for the shadows. And I think I've reached the limit on the number of layers I can use with this paper. Just fine, because we're almost done. Now, along with the black bits in the center, there's also, you know, it's not smooth, so let's add some texture in here, which is just scribbles. And put some bits back in. Okay. Well, there you have it. My first pastel painting in many years. Let's knock some of the dust off. There you go. So I feel like I have just rekindled my love for pastels, which is pretty awesome. So let me know if you want to see more pastel paintings. I think the next one I might draw will be water, an ocean wave. I think that would be really fun to do in pastel. And maybe I can do like a 12 by 16 pastel painting. Something larger where I can get in and get more detail. I feel like this has sufficient detail, but I could go in with colored pencil on top, but I want to keep this strictly pastel. Next time I might break out the colored pencils, we'll see. All right, if you've enjoyed today's video, then don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.